What's up, coaches? This is the Coaching 101 podcast. I am Daniel Chamberlain. That is Coach Kenny Simpson, and we are joined today by Dr. Chad Peters. Dr. Peters, I was looking through your, I know you said call you Chad, and then I immediately went with Dr. Peters, so here we go.
You call me need, man.
I was trying to look through your Chat GPT'd you, so that's the new Google, right? And
Right.
You, my man, are a man of many talents. So I'm going to let you do your own introduction because there's no way I can cover it all.
Well, that's rough, man. There's not a lot to say. I was a college football player, so that's I think I'm most excited about is just getting back to my roots. Proud South Dakota State Jackrabbit. They've been doing great. Kenese major, and at that time, there really wasn't the career of performance enhancement or sports performance. Now it's become big business. I'm lecturing at a university tomorrow, and that's what I'm going to talk about. I'm not going to talk about chiropractic, but at the time, that was my way in. I wanted to start doing sports performance, speed stuff, ended up doing an internship with the Miami Dolphins, and the chiropractic world has been very good to me, but my whole family's coaches. My wife's family's coaches. My brother's a coach, and we sit and talk, and it's incredible to me. You guys have to live this every day, so you know at some level why I didn't pick teaching and coaching, but man, do I want to get back to it. So, after a few chats with my brother and kind of what's out there in the continuing ed world for you guys, I thought, man, this is something I've been doing. I just haven't been doing it towards the high school guys, and let's make that angle. So a year ago, I decided to start another business and build a cornerstone with a book for it. And now that's where I'm at. I've got a great thing that's kind of geared directly for high school coaches, and on here's kind of new what's coming down the pipe. And I'm just trying to keep that going, man. It's I love the writing. I love anything that's just kind of stimulating. The creativity was kind of gone in my life. So that's what this has been a great outlet for me.
Yeah, absolutely. So what have you done so far? I mean, I know you're jumping into a lot of podcasts. We're kind of pre-recording here. We're talking about all your podcasts, time and such, but what else have you been doing with your time?
Well, what I'm really trying to do is the main gist is just kind of those professional development days that you guys all have is mandatory for your staff. You know, my brother and I were sitting around over Thanksgiving, and he's talking about how he's watched the concussion protocol for 7 years in a row. He knows when the guy has a little joke. He knows when he coughs in the background. And he's like, there's got to be something better. You know, most of his continuing ed stuff is similar to what you guys do. They get most of their development in sports following a college team. So down here in Texas, if your team runs the same sort of offense as Baylor, well, that's where you go everywhere for your camp. And he's like, that's really the only where we're getting improvements in our game. It's not happening with our staff. Our staff is mostly sitting around and, hey, could you build that? I mean, you're doing stuff for national strength coaches. You're doing stuff for all these other groups. I'm like, yeah, that's the group I would most want to be in. So that's been the most fun for me this last really about 3 months is just get in front of high school staffs and kind of here's what's coming down the pipe. Here's some things you can do right now. I would never get in there and tell someone how to coach. That's not my job. And I think it's football coaches are one of the funnest ones to be in front of, but they're also kind of the toughest. You know, you walk into that group and their kind of arms are crossed and you're not going to tell me anything. I know how to run my system, 20 years of success. And that's not what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to give them some ideas and concepts that let the coaching happen faster. It's all about just efficiency and how they can make a snap decision. And it was really cool talking to you kind of pre-show that's your job. You know, I mean, how cool is that is to come in as an analyst and like, hey, here's a couple of things we need to look at just so the decision happens faster.
Right.
That's the most exciting part of what I'm doing.
Yeah, it's you're right about coaches, like football coaches being the hardest. I don't want to say we're the most stubborn, but that's probably the best word. But we do what we do, and it's hard to ever find another way. You know what I mean? Unless our way fails miserably to the point we lose a job.
Right. And you guys don't get into this for 10 years and it has been failing miserably. You'd be replaced by that time. So the guys that I'm going in front of have had success with what they're doing. But on the same level, you guys are the tip of the spear. Every other sport is going to follow exactly what football does. You know, when football says, here's how we work out in the weight room, here's how we do our speed, the other sports are kind of going to have to model that. That's where the money's at. That's where the time at. And it's the biggest sport in the United States. I mean, that's the one that everyone's going to follow. So I love that. My venture into the NFL really showed me that the stuff that's happened at the professional levels, that shouldn't take a generation to trickle down. This is an easy access information time in history. And you can take a lot of what the pros are doing and bring it down. Now you can't take the 10 hours of studying film. you don't get those guys for a job like that where it's a professional career. But yeah, there's a lot of aspects you can use that having high school kids, myself, they're not accessing. They can scroll it and they can see it on Instagram and say, well, if I fixed my nutrition, it would make me a better athlete. But then they just scroll to the next thing. It's when you start applying these things that it makes a difference.
Yeah, it doesn't stick for them, does it?
No, it doesn't stick.
Awesome. Well, Kenny, man, let's jump into our quote of the week. First of all, congratulations on the win on Friday. I saw it all over Facebook.
Yeah, winning's always better than not winning. So that's good. Right.
Absolutely. We pulled one out of the jaws of defeat as well on Friday, so that was pretty good. We had a ton of fun. It was a great game to be a coach of. You know what I mean? It's one of those. You get done with the game, and you're like, man, we coached our tails off to whatever, pull off that W, and that's kind of what we had. So it felt really good. Let's jump to our quote of the week real quick, man.
Sure. We're going to talk about efficiency. I think that was the theme of what we got Chad on here to talk about. So I kind of picked a quote from that. It's from H. Jackson Brown Jr. That's who made the quote. Pretty simple quote. It says, don't say you don't have enough time. You have exactly the same number of hours in the day that were given to Helen Keller, Michelangelo, Mother Teresa, Leonardo da Vinci, Thomas Jefferson, Albert Einstein. I'm sure he could have named whoever he wanted to name. So the excuse of not having enough time is not there. And I think that's kind of what we're going to be talking about today, about efficiency, trying to be good at what we do. A lot of times as coaches, in my experience, and I'm interested to hear Chad's perspective on this, but we do what we have to do to survive day to day, and we don't think a week down the road, 4 weeks down the road, 3 months down the road. We're just trying to survive the moment. And when you're living in survival mode, you're probably not producing the best results you can produce. So we've got to get to a point where we can plan ahead, be organized, and be efficient.
Yeah. No, I think efficiency is the name of the game. We've said it many, many times, which brings us into our ads here. Coach, if you don't mind, share some ways that a coach can be, how about more efficient, more simple, and teach his staff and players. What's up, coaches? I want to talk to you for just a few moments about your program. The longer I'm in this profession, the more I understand that efficiency is truly the name of the game. We're talking offense, defense, doesn't matter, right? Eventually, you're going to come down to checking out your efficiency. So I have to ask you, are you doing everything in your program the most efficient way, right? Are you fundraising the most efficient way? Are you representing your players and your program to the public in the best way? Are you planning to build the facilities the most efficient way? If you answered no to any of those, or really even if you answered yes to all of them, and you haven't contacted Mark Bridges at Ace Sports, you're missing a key step. So look, Mark and his team, they are the go-to group for video board and scoreboard installations for your school. They're not just football either. Mark can help you mock up your newest video board for that new stadium, or maybe even your old stadium, right? That's where Mark and the guys come in. And we're not just buying a flashy thing, right? Yes, it's nice. It's pretty neat to have that big scoreboard, that big video board, but you're also, you're investing back into that program. You're investing into that newest fundraiser. Sure, you can keep selling your discount cards, your beef jerky, hosting pie auctions, whatever it is that you like to do. But let's just be honest with ourselves, guys. We're not making enough money for those big ticket items. For the big ticket items like turf, an indoor facility, that's where you need a big ticket item fundraiser. That's what Ace Sports is offering you today. Guys, I've talked to Mark several times now, all right? And it always comes down to big school, small school. Right? Well, of course, the big schools can afford that new video board, but the small schools really can't. It's just not true anymore, man. Your school isn't too small, and I promise. Okay, 1A, 2A schools, it doesn't matter. Mark and the guys, they're helping them out. Contact Mark today at mark.bridges@acesports.com and let him come give you a quote. Let him show you and your administration the plan. Now, really, it's the cheat code, right? Let him show you the cheat code that is fundraising with Ace Sports video boards. Tell him Daniel sent you. This episode is brought to you by Athletic Speed and Movement. At athleticspeedmovement.com, we've taken Del Basquet's 45 years of speed and movement training and put it all in one place just for you. You can get the same training that NFL players have been getting for years, collegiate players have been getting for years, and now high schools across the nation are paying thousands of dollars to bring Del in to install his system, but we've got it online for you.